Hello. It'd be so nice to have positive stuff to talk about one day, for us all to be really joyful and happy and positive. But until that day, unfortunately, the news continues just to be shocking and depressing. And one story I was looking at yesterday is this topic of how anxious kids are today. And it made me think about my childhood in the 90s. You know, really simple times, no phones, no social media, just a pure, innocent, basic childhood. Playing with your toys, whether it was He-Man or My Little Ponies or Cabbage Patch dolls, which were quite weird. What were the little trolls, or I don't know, just Sylvanian families. And then you'd have your TV programs that were like once a week, and they were all really innocent and cartoony, like He-Man again, or your Saturday morning TV. What was that? Wide Awake Club, Saturday Live, was it? But it was all so innocent and cutesy and fun and uplifting. And then luckily, I was fortunate. I lived in the countryside, so a lot of it was spent outside playing. There was no PC, no health and safety, so we were always jumping on my granddad's tractors and playing in fields, climbing trees, all of that good fun, out all day, making dens and stuff. And then as a teenager, again, we had no social media. My mum and dad had split up, which, was quite traumatic, happens to a lot of families. I got bullied a bit, had to deal with that, some boy stuff. You'd see the odd fight. You're worried about your body as a girl, all really normal stuff. But you would get the bus to town, you'd have your pocket money that you'd spend at Woolworths, and you'd buy the latest CD or something. And the music, and there was so much brilliant music and bands and groups in the 90s. And again, it was all real fun and upbeat and positive. And I'd like the Spice Girls or Take That and Backstreet Boys and the All Saints. They were all so funky and really cool. And you used to think the Spice Girls were pretty, like, a bit out there, but looking back, it's just so innocent and naive and fun. It's all just, and as I got older, as I said, you might have the odd fight in school or a bit of smoking. Your parents might worry about girls getting into trouble with a boy, but it was all really basic. And then just in the last 10-20 years, we had 9/11 and the start of terrorism. That I know we had IRA, but it's very different. The IRA were targeted. You knew exactly what they wanted. You could get around the table and negotiate. This terrorism was completely new and unrelenting, and it's affected Europe more than anything, in my opinion, since the World Wars. And it's caused a lot of anxiety, whether you're going to a concert or getting on a plane or getting on a train or a bus. So you had all of that. We've got the insane epidemic of knife crimes every day. Some poor kids getting hurt, killed, gangs in streets with machetes, warfare. I mean, I know so many parents are just worried about their kids going to town. It's got to such extreme levels. You've got the gender agenda telling kids there's 100 genders, telling them in the wrong bodies. You've got the whole anti-British rhetoric pushed in schools, and Britain bad, British history bad, white man bad, white privilege, Black Lives Matter. Continue to divide and put blame on people and point the finger at people. Toxic masculinity. You've then got the whole net zero situation, which is killing off the UK economy. It's killing off our farmers. It's destroying areas of beauty. It's taking us back to the dark ages. Families are then getting stressed with the cost of living, and kids hear about that, and even just having a car or being able to pay your bills. You know, our businesses are shutting down everywhere. Kids are worried about not being able to get jobs. Kids aren't getting on university places if they're white and put to the bottom of the queue, and there's no opportunities anywhere. It's relentless. And the climate hysteria every day, telling them that the world is going to end, and we've got how many more seconds on the clock, or how many more degrees is going to fry us all, which is just unscientific hyperbole, propaganda, hysteria on steroids. And it's so bad to push this rhetoric on kids all the time. They're bombarded with negativity, and as a parent you do your best to try and shelter them from this, but obviously they have phones now, and they talk at school and they hear so much more, like, you know, not to even mention COVID, which will go down in history as probably the worst thing ever to have happened to our countries. You know, something which affected kids way less than flu. And they were forced to stay at home, miss all their education, birthdays, not see their friends, sit at the kitchen table trying to do work on their own, or parents stressing, trying to help them do it and arguing, and not having any freedom to go out and enjoy yourself afterwards, not being able to go to sports, not being able to have a birthday party, not being able to just be a child. Just, I can't even go there. It's so traumatic. Kids have so much, so much to worry about, whether it's being stabbed, or whether the world's going to boil, or whether we've got another war with Russia and nuclear wars, or more terrorism, and they see masses of men, unknown men coming into the country nobody knows. And there's so many areas that children are, obviously are anxious about, whether it's cost of living, their actual life being put in danger, whether it's just being able to go to a concert, whether it's feeling bad about being British or white. Like, what a bombardment kids have to deal with today. And then they wonder why kids are so anxious, and we don't go to the source of trying to solve those problems, trying to make our streets safer, trying to make life more affordable, trying to make families happier, giving them some benefits to make family life good and affordable, and being proud of Britain, and giving hope, and having more jobs and industries, and having jobs and uni places given on merit, and responsible kind of journalism on climate that's balanced and logical and rational. There's so many things that they could do to help kids, or even just having more sports in school, to run around, to let off some steam, to bond with your fellow pupils. Nothing ever gets done to help kids. They just keep talking about how anxious they are, and probably offering them medication. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are often middle-aged who are on like X and social media just talking about the state of Britain. It's because we remember a time that was so fun and vibrant and positive, and bonded together under a culture, and just happy and safe and cohesive. And we just want that for the children of today and the children of tomorrow. That's why we're all on here ranting every day. That's it. That's the reason. It's just for the kids. And to get back to what we had when we were young.